We'll just let the ads start. Oh, sorry. I hadn't started boosting it. We're gonna get all the rocks today. I'm sure more people will join now that I've pinged, but if not, then we'll get as much ore as we can. Oh, there you are. There you go. Where is... Hello! Hi, it's Dawn Rhea here again with some mining and some Eve talk. So we are gonna hop into it. We might get an ad right away. If we do, I apologize. Let me know if we're having any audio issues. Yep, of course an ad starts. Of course, the starts after I waited. So those of you who are subscribed, you get to see. If not, we're gonna just wait till for about 2.5 minutes, and then we will. So we'll just wait. I'm gonna go ahead and get my music running. You guys can watch the rocks happening. If you want to come join us, you can join Fleet. You're gonna have to fly yourself out here though. We don't have a spare work wheel yet. Let us do. Oh wait, no, go back. Go back. I saw what I wanted to listen to. There we go. Sorry, you guys are gonna hear ads occasionally because I use YouTube for my music. So, and let me know if that's too loud or not. Whenever you guys can. It shouldn't be too loud. So. All right, we're gonna leave it there. And then you guys have to help me obviously keep track of like if baddies show up and shit. Because I'm going to be talking to people, so if I don't instantly react, definitely say something. All right. One more minute, guys, and then we'll get into it when everybody else can watch us too. So for the few subscribers. Yep, we're going to talk about some Logi ships tonight and kind of what I go through with Logi, and then maybe some more rock shit. We'll find out. Ugh, of course, the ad break kills me, but just gotta let it run. I don't know if it's actually done or not, so I'm hoping it is, but I'm gonna wait till this thing says it's done. Oh my god, there's rewards. New Omega rewards. Okay, claim all. Thank you. All right, so if you were on an ad break, I'm glad everybody's here. I'm your host, Dawn Rhea. I will be going over some Logi stuff in Eve. If you were here last week, we talked about mining. That is my like bread and butter. That's my career, I guess, in Eve. And I may not be perfect at it, but I know a lot. So I tried to share the kind of the 101 of different types of ships last week, how we use them, the different types of mining sites. We were mining on a moon the entire time. We are mining on a moon again today. And I do have a fleet with me. I might talk to them occasionally. So if you hear me talking randomly to somebody, that's who it is. I'm going to turn on some music. If it is too loud, let me know. It shouldn't be too loud. Let me try. I think that's good. I can also not have it too loud that I get distracted. So, because I'll start singing shit. So, but today, since we talked about mining ships last week, we might touch base into some of that again today. But we are going to talk about my other passion, which is fleet logistics, which is lodging. So that's, the cleric of the Eve world. And that is the other thing that I am really, really good at. Hi, you're back after 4 years away from the game. So you missed all of Scarcity and the war and everything? You missed all the fun of the torture that we went through. So, but we'll get into it. And as I said, if you guys have questions about Eve, about me, about mining while I'm doing it, I'll be happy to answer as much as I can. You came back on the Horn of Gundor. And I've got so many bonuses and shit showing up. Anyways, so let us hop into it. So what is Logi? So Logi is the clerics of Eve, which is just the ships that repair other ships during fleet battles. There's a whole couple lines of them. And honestly, if you're a newer player wanting to get into fleets and be helpful without the annoyance of trying to figure out how to skill into the different ever-changing ships, Logi's a great way to do it because the Logis pretty much always are the same on every fleet. Okay, we're going to live with that. So we're going to look at some ships here. There's a couple different classes of ships. There are frigate Logi, cruiser Logi, and then capital Logi. And then a couple of the ships can be Logi that you may not realize can be unless you really look at the bonuses. So we'll go over a couple things and how they're usually used. And we don't really go into fitting much. I'm not the fitting expert on that, but I can tell you how they're usually used. So, and I'll be occasionally moving ore around and having to deal with the fleet. So let's go ahead and take a look at the kind of the first class of ships. This is what a baby or a babby in Eve would probably deal with. Is going to be these logistics frigates. Let me see if I can find the right one. So the Inquisitor is the first one. Hold on, I don't want to simulate it. We want to just show info. So this one has bonuses to the remote armor repairs. So they're just the little tiny bonuses. This is a T1 frigate. This is going to be for the newbies to use to put out some reps. They're going to be typically AB fit, just for fitting's sake, for if it's an Amar, and if it's like Kaldari or Mimitar. Hi, thanks for subscribing, Dragon. So if it's going to be like Amar and Galenta, you're probably going to see them afterburner fit. They're still going to be really fast. If it's Kaldari or Mimitar, they're going to probably be MWD fit. And they're kind of this is kind of worthless. It's there. It helps. It's not to say that it can't help keep somebody alive, but this is just as for a baby to enjoy. And each faction has their own. Let me see if I can find the, where's the burst? Oh, sorry, the Bantam. So the Bantam is there for the Kaldari. We'll take a look at it. And this one has, so the other one had armor boost. This one has shield boost. Hello. I linked it in Fleet for you. I don't know why anyone else could do it. Why I gotta do it. I'm trying to do something here. Oh, thanks, Duck. I appreciate it. And then, so then we have the Galente, which is not the carries. Where are you? No. Nope. The Navitas. Okay, that one's really cute. Honestly, I like the Navitas because it's pretty cute. It's this little bug. Let me go over here. This cute little bug. Have I used every single one of these ships? Absolutely. There is a place for these. And then we've got the Mimitar, which is this one. And you can tell their bonuses are based upon the primary defense type of that type of ship. So Kadari's shield, Mimitar shield, and then, Amar and Galente are for armor. These are going to be used strictly on like frigate fleets or destroyer fleets like Jackdaws. If you're a newbie, they're a great way to do it. The next level is going to be the Tech 2s, which is going to be up here. Let me find it. Ah, here we go. And this is specific. Now, these guys actually, they may be tiny, but they are mighty. They pump out the reps there. So the logistic frigates, like the Scalpel, thank you for the subscription, Duck. I appreciate it. The Thalia, let me go to the other one. The Kirin, I use the Kirin a lot, actually. And then the Deacon. Now, the armor ones we don't see as much because usually when it comes to destroyers, we're using Jackdaws, which are shield ships. So you're going to be mostly doing Keldari or the Scalpels. Both are great. They kind of have a little bit of a cap issue if you're constantly running stuff. So you might just need to pay a little bit more attention to how many reps you have running at a time. But other than that, they're great ships. If you are looking for something that can always be helpful in a fleet and you don't have the skills for a saber or fast tackle, or you don't want to do fast tackle yet, those are fine. I mean, you're probably not going to get SRP if you bring them on a cruiser fleet, but if you really want to help, it can still definitely help out keeping sabers and stuff aligned. But the bulk of the Logi stuff we'll get into is going to be the cruisers. I'm not going to necessarily go over each one of them. Yeah, the Margadari usually have an HP bonus, and then the Galente stuff have SIG bonuses, which, yeah, each one of them is a little bit different. I'm going to do something here, too. I want to have us not stuck in a K-pop circle. Even though I would absolutely love it, we're going to switch up our mix a little bit here. And we're going to get a commercial, but it'll be fine. Everyone loves some good chicken, right? Or french fries. There we go. We'll let that play. So the bread and butter is the Logi Cruisers. Now there are T1 versions. So we have the Osprey for Caldari. We'll go ahead and show info and take a look at this bad boy. These are just souped up versions of the frigates. They have their bonuses. They usually have a range bonus for the shield booster and usually an amount or activation cost reduction. But the other thing that's special about the logistics cruisers for half of them is this remote capacitor transfer bonus. So how most of the Logi fleets that we prefer to use are, they do what's called a cap chain. And if you've never done Logi before, it's not hard, but it's something that, you just got to pay attention to. Look at this bonus here. 1,000% bonus on the range, and the amount transfers 200%. So we'll pull up I'll pull up one of the Logi ships here. Let me do this here. And you guys get to see my sexy Rorqual. We want to do the Basilisk. Yeah, this will be fine. So we have our Basilisk here. Here's how it's going to be fit. So in fleets, Logi ships use up a lot of cap to do their stuff, and they don't have a very big capacitor. So the way for them to mitigate, instead of running out of cap constantly or having to use cap boosters, is they have these cap transfers. And that's basically just like them sending out energy between each other. And somehow they break the laws of physics and send out more energy than they use up. And so you get a positive energy flow. So pretty much Logi ships are at 100% or close to 100% capacitor the entire time that they're running. Even when they're repping people, they're running with their micro warp drive and they've got their shield boosters, anything activated. They're also, and what's crazy is they only need one between each other. So the second one, you can actually give out to fleet members that are struggling with capacitor and give them a boost up. So if I were, and the way to remember it, so at least in Imperium fleets, everybody else, I don't know what y'all do, but in Imperium fleets, you always go down on your Logi bros. You know, we're not selfish here. You always go down on each other. Yes, it is. That is actually the only way to remember it, is to go down on each other. So we have usually cap transfer buddies. We have a channel all set up for it. So you hand your cap transfer up to like the person whose name above you, and the cap transfer to the person's name below you. And that's why it's got up and down. So you always go down to the person below you, and then the one up you can give out to the fleet if someone, like let's say a battleship or one of the Hicks or something, are struggling for cap and they need some help. You can pass it out. But that's why these Logis are so powerful, is because they can rep a ton, like an insane amount, and then they give out cap. Now this is just the T1. Well, this is the T2 version. This is the Basilisk. We haven't gotten into yet. The T1s still do all the same stuff. They're just a little bit weaker, a little bit squishier, and they don't do quite as much reps as the T2 Logis. So the Osprey was the one we were looking at first. Let me pull that back up. What are we listening to? Oh, it's a commercial. Okay. It's like I don't listen to house music or whatever the fuck that was. I like actual songs with lyrics and shit. Doesn't have to be great, but okay. So we did the Osprey. The Amar one, which is the armor one, has the same kind of bonuses, has cap transfer bonus, as well as the remote repair, but they do armor. On the number T2 Frag versus T1 Logi, which reps more? Honestly, that really depends on like how much time we're going over. I believe the T1s are still going to be a little bit more, but the T2s are still pretty good. I think I would rather have a fleet of T1 cruisers versus a bunch of T2, the same amount of T2 frigates, but it might be close. I'm not like hard on the numbers. It's something that unfortunately it depends on fitting, but I think the bigger positive is that you're going to get, I'd rather have the T1s because you have that cap transfer ability versus with T2 frigate Logi. The only benefit you're getting is that those frigate Logi are really hard to kill because they're tiny, and so they have a smaller signature, but they don't give out any cap, and they once again only repo so much. And they're also, you know, really tiny, so they're harder to hit, but they also don't take a lot of damage to kill. So if they get, you know, dogged on by maybe the enemies got like a couple stilettos or something, they grab onto a Logi and pin it down, they can take it out pretty quickly, and it's not taking up a lot of, you know, stuff. Okay, someone needs their own squad. Yeah. All right. Oopsies. Haha, we don't need to do that. All right, let me do this real quick, guys. Move member. There. All right, so let me go back into this. So, I mean, there's a place for everything. The biggest thing is augers a lot of times are used as giant cap batteries for fleets that maybe have cap issues. I have been in a fleet where either my Guardian or I've brought an auger with just cap transfers is giving out cap to the fleet and then in the cap chain with the rest of the repping Logis. And so they're still really, really useful. You know, I don't know which one's actually really better overall. I think it's very dependent upon the situation. Yeah, Logi is useful a lot of places, and different Logi are useful in different ways. And then for Caldari, so we did the Caldari, we did Amar. Those are the two like big ones, right? And then the bastard children of Logi is Galente and Minmatar. They have their place, but they are not the first choice most of the time. The one that is really the redheaded stepchild is the Oneros, which is the one we're going to look at. Well, not yet, but it's the Executor and the Oneros. And the reason why is these do not have the cap transfer bonus. So they don't give us that benefit that the Augur and everything do. And they don't rep quite as much, I believe, as the others. Believe they're a little bit tankier or a little bit faster, but they don't rip quite as much. But it's not a giant difference. It's just not, like if you're not getting the cap transfer bonus, what's the, why would you want to take an Executor over an Augur? The only benefit is that if you're in a fleet where they're going to be jamming a lot, it's nice to not have to worry about a cap chain breaking apart and having all your ships run out of cap. Yeah, like they are good for their purpose, but when you're looking at like the big fleet fights, it's typically going to be Guardians and Basilisks, like the Amar and the Kaldari ships, because the cap transfer benefit is so huge and those ships are so good at Logi. But these are great if you are worried about jams. These are not dependent upon anyone else for cap. So if your buddy gets jammed, you can still keep repping and don't have to worry about running out of cap. So that's a benefit for him. And if you really want to fly it, you can fly it. I'm sure you can make it fit. What's wrong? I don't know which one you're wronging to. And if you have different info, I'm more than happy to discuss. Because I'm not the Logi expert other than like how to, kind of fly Logi. But the actual stats and everything, not my 100% forte here. But I try. Yeah. Having those extras, like you can make the Executor very tanky. It's got that extra possible mid, so you can kind of fit it a little differently or have an extra cap battery or whatever. And then we've got the last one, which is the Scythe for Mimitar. Honestly, I really like the Scythes. Oh, you just wanted to come and scream wrong. You're like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong spot. Whoopsies. That's fine. I love the Scythe. We'll pull it up. Sorry, I didn't pull up the other one much, but I'll pull this one up. These are really great for small gang. Yeah, you can fit an MGD on an Executor, which is nice. You don't necessarily need it, but you can do it. The Executor is also great for small gang where you don't need a cap transfer buddy and still want a powerful Logi. Scythes are really good for that. Once again, low sec stuff, small gang roams, and you want to have at least one Logi to kind of keep everybody alive or keep your small tackle alive. Those two ships are like really good at that because they don't need anybody else. They don't need friends. They're fine by themselves. And so that's the cruiser T1 Logi. Now the main ships for Logi are going to be the T2s, and they're all the way up here. So we'll start with Mimitar because I have so many of these. This is the let me open this up. Oh, someone needs a squad. Oops, I keep doing that. No way. No way. Out. All right. So we've got the Scimitar. This is really good. Like, these guys are really powerful. They're very fast. You can fit them to go pretty dang quick. And during the war in Delve, that was pretty much the only Logi we used because we were flying Munins constantly. I lost 4 Scimitars in one fight, and they were not reimbursing us money at the time. They were reimbursing us ships. I still have all of them. I'm going to show you guys. Hold on. Scimitar. Let's just do Scimitar, right? Is it? No, it's Dawn that has it. Hold on. I'm going to switch here. We're going to switch characters. Cobra Rex, eh? We probably are going to switch this a little bit. Not that I don't love this song, but I think there's some things there I probably shouldn't have it on. I'm going to switch my Eve client real quick. Hold on. Because I want to show you Dawn. Okay. Because you guys need to see this stupidity of my fleet hanger. So we have, so I've got a skin. I've got a nice little scimitar over there. See that, Jay? I have so many scimitars, and we don't use any right now in any of our fleets. It's awful. I'm fucking stuck. With like, how many scimitars is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 scimitars that I can't use on anything. Stupid. There's reasons why I have so many, but it's really dumb. All right, let me just switch the Eve client again back to Asmodean. We don't need to see Dawn. She's not doing anything. There you go. All right. Let's delete that. Yeah, we don't need that. All right, that's fine. Okay, so let me get back to it. So anyways, I like the scimitar. It's really useful. It's really good. It's got a lot of reps. It's very fast, very nimble. Same kind of thing. You can use it if a super powerful small gang Logi. You can use it in fleet Logi. It's great for ships that just use the kitey bullshit stuff because they can keep up. And they don't really have a ton of cap issue. You will typically need an implant and some drugs to like really not worry. If you don't have those, you will probably need to just manage how many reps you got going at once. So you might only have 3 reps up and then throw out the 4th one occasionally when you need it to keep someone alive, right? You know, here and there, so that way you can keep your cap going. And maybe you can get some cap from maybe a Bazzi if there's one in fleet. So we'll do that. I don't think I have a ridiculous amount of Bazzies. I think I've got like 3 or 4. But we'll go into Galente, the other red-headed stepchild. This is the Executor. Oh, sorry, the Oneros. Sorry. The Oneros is the T2. I'll pull it up. Show info. Let's do that, because I want to kind of keep an eye on fleet chat and shit. Tom, you got to type out stuff better. Sign us up. Just say it out loud, Tom, if guys I'm in stream, so I can't always read. Nothing. Okay. So the Oneros, I clearly have a couple different skins for this. I do like the Oneros, despite it looking like a penis. Yes. Yes, most of the Galente ships look like a penis. This still does. It doesn't have quite giant balls like the Thorax does, but it still is very phallic. I do have the Halcyon Dawn skin on a lot of my ships because my name's in it. So I'm a nerd like that. So I like it a lot. Oh, I was sorry. I didn't mean to talk to you guys. That's not my fault. But keep going. You guys can talk. It's fine. Anyways, so the Oneros is the same thing. It's the same thing as the Scimitar. Really good at small gang. Really good in a fleet where you don't want to worry about cap chain. They're very strong. They kind of have the same issue, though, is that they can run out of cap if you're over repping. So you have to spend, you usually can use like 3 reps, no problem. And then the 4th rep, you might need to just use it occasionally in those emergencies to keep someone alive while they're handling the primary. And that's fine. I mean, it's got its place. And I like to use it. Another really good use for the Scimitar and the Oneros is if you are multi-boxing Logi, I will do that occasionally if I know that the fleet's going to be going slow, is I will have Dawn in the ship that is going to be doing the fast-paced locking, and then I will put 1 or 2 of my alts in one of these, an Oneros or a Scimitar, so that way they can just like casually put reps out on people, and I don't have to worry about a cap chain. I don't need to keep track of my buddies. I just kind of let them maybe just rep me or just rep a prime target that I want to make sure stays alive and has reps on them all the time. So if you think you can multi-box maybe like 2 Logi and you don't want to deal with a cap chain, one of these can be helpful. Depends on the fleet. So I recommend, skilling into that. And then what are we crack-a-lacking into next? We're going to get into the big boys. So let's go ahead and do, we're going to do the Amar ones next. We're going to skip around because we're going to save the big boys for last. This is my favorite Logi, and it's one of my top ships. So this is the Guardian. It is one of my favorite. I said it kind of looks like a little gun. Yeah, we will, Dragon, the Trig will get their time. They get their own love, so So we've got the Guardian. I've got a couple skins obviously on it. This ship is fantastic. It's really good at cap transfer. It's pretty small sig radius, so it's hard to hit. It's pretty tanky. The only, and we're going to talk about kind of how reps work on ships at some point, but this thing is like a beautiful battery pack. Great for incursions. I love them a lot. I know that not everybody does, or they're like got this fucking hard on for the Bazzy, but I love the Guardian. I think it's my favorite, or one of my favorites. It's my second favorite. We'll see my favorite in a little bit. And this is something, if you want to be a Logi pilot in the Imperium, you have to learn this ship because we will use them. They always get rotated around. And then we will look at the creme de la creme right now, the top Logi ship, because it's used in the most fleets right now, for at least the actual like fleets, is the Basilisk. We already looked at it a bit earlier, but we're gonna look at it. It is ugly as shit. They're obviously all the Kadari ships are birds, and so it's got this really like beaky face with these angular pieces. I think it's ugly as sin, but she do be thick. She's very good. Got great high reps, really good cap transfer. Uses an MWD, so it typically flies really quickly, and it's really strong. So yeah, I know it has a mustache. It does have whiskers. Look at it. It's right there. Or teeths. Those could be considered teeth. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm grown to like it more, but I really did not like it when I first had to use it. But it's a fun ship. Yeah, teeth. And I highly recommend, this is, if you had to pick one Logi to learn first, if you're like, okay, man, I want to join in on these Logi fleets. Logi is cool. Logi are gods. They determine who lives and dies on fights. This is the one I would say learn first. Then learn the Guardian. Obviously the T1s. Those are all very easy to learn into. But for your T2s, this is what you want to learn first, and then the Guardian. Just for now. Obviously, if we go to an armor doctrine, it all switches over to the Guardian. But this is what you want to learn. Now, we'll get into the other fun ships, but we'll talk about how reps work. For like the babies who don't know, who maybe have never done Logi, there's two types of reps. There's shield. Well, there's three actually, but one don't talk about. There's the shield Logi, armor Logi, and then there is hull repair. So shield boosting, as it's called, is just repairing the shield amount on a ship, which is its outer ring. Yeah, whole fleet one. That would be great. That would be hilarious. Calente would just rise up in their joy of a whole fleet. Anyways, so how reps work is on shield fleets, on shield reps, they land and heal the ship at the beginning of the cycle. Right as you hit the button, it sends it off. Okay, but it's not as much. So it heals and it's really fast. Like it cycles like, whoo. Actually, I have one right here. So I have a shield booster. It's a capital one. So I'm going to rep my own alt. So I'm going to lock myself. So you can see how it works. It's not like it's crazy here, right? But so if I click it, it's going to, usually, oh, I'm doing a rock. Ha 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 ha. The rock is repaired, guys. So when you click it on somebody, it shows that it's doing it, right? And if you hover over the symbol, you see that it might be hard to see on computer, but there's a little tiny white line that goes from the repper to the ship down to my repper in my row down here. That's how you can know which repper is on which ship and know which one to turn off. It's kind of subtle. But I didn't notice that kind of right away, but eventually I was like, oh, wow. So that way you can kind of know which one you need to turn off of which ship. And how it works is, like, if you saw this one's a capital one, so it's kind of slow, but these things cycle like 2 or 3 seconds, like woo, 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 like, and it goes really, really fast. So they don't do a lot of shield HP, but they go really quickly, so it averages out to about the same as armor. Now, how armor works is that armor hits at the end of the cycle. So what you'll watch is as it goes around the circle, the health, the healing, the armor doesn't repair until it finishes, and then you'll watch their health go up, which means that they can die while waiting for your reps to land, but you're going to do a lot more. And armor obviously has more resistances usually on most ships, or at least on armor ships. And so you're hoping that whoever you're repping will survive long enough to land some reps. And usually once you get a couple in, they can hang. If they don't get alpha right away, they'll hold. Let's just say it's a gamble if you're going to make it on armor. Yeah, and then we'll go over in that. And then honestly though, there's a difference. You know how guns have optimal ranges? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the shield outside the armor. So sometimes there's enough shield that maybe it can help the armor. Right. Yes. And we'll go into kind of staggering and stuff, some of the techniques. But you've got the guys keep throwing me off because he asked questions, which is fine. I just gotta stay on track. So the armor lands at the end. You gotta hope your target survives long enough to take it, but it heals a lot more. And that's the balance between shield reps, fast but small. Armor is slow but large, and so they balance out. Averages about the same numbers, just a different. There is optimal ranges for healing, so just like a gun, they have. You'll see there's optimal and fall off, which is like my optimal range is like 50. Let's say it's 1,000 kilometers or 1,000 meters is my optimal, and 1,500 is my fall off. What that means is that you're going to get your maximum amount of repping or shooting. Same with guns. You're going to get your maximum amount of benefit at that range or lower if it's the optimal. If you are outside that, but within that fall off range, that secondary window, you will get a reduced amount. There is no guarantee how much that's going to be. You could get a glancing heal. You could get a full heal, or you could get almost nothing. There's no set it is exact, a half or anything like that. At least not in my experience. Usually when I watch the numbers. Yeah. And the so you're gonna see a glancing blow. Yeah, a glancing rep, right? I need to get off my ship there. I don't know, I'm blanking today. So once the rep, so you can, when you're trying to do, so of course somebody needs me. Oh, it's Kairos, that's fine. He can have 4. Okay. So honestly, the optimals aren't a giant deal. It would be nice if you can keep your Logi within the optimal range of your fleet, but it doesn't work out all the time. You get that one dumbass that's just wandering off into the corner, and you got to save them because the enemy fleet's focusing him down, or somebody's really, really close, and you're like, oh my God. So, but how Logi does try to stay within optimal range so you can get your max benefit. We'll get into I actually don't do that much capital Logi. I can't heal stupid, but we'll get into triage at some point. So, let's go ahead and we're going to talk about my favorite Logi ship, which is and it's because it's a lot of fun name, is the Zarmazd. So I'm going to go pull it up here. So this is a special ship that came out a couple years ago. There's 2 ships. There's the Rodiva, which is it's okay. It doesn't have a ton of fitting room, and it looks okay. I feel like these pieces right here are a little too long for it, but it looks okay. The Rodiva's fine. It's similar, same thing. Really great for wormholes, great for small gang. How these guys work, instead of having multiple reps, they have 1 rep. And it heals a lot, but it ramps up. So let's say it heals 200 armor, and it's armor only. So let's say it's doing 200 armor HP per 6 seconds. And then as it goes, it's going to go to 250, 300, 350, and it's going to escalate up, and it takes maybe 10, 20 seconds, I think, somewhere in there to ramp up completely. It takes a little bit of time to ramp up, and then it's usually repping like 2 or 3 times what it started as. It's ridiculous. So what you usually try to do is if you're going to use these, have it spool up on like the ship you really don't want to die. They're not necessarily that great for like catching things. They're great for holding things from death. Now, this is a great ship. As I said, it's got some fitting trouble because it just doesn't have quite enough power grid or CPU to really fit it the way you want. But you can make it work. You're just going to sacrifice somewhere. It's also not quite as tanky as you might like it, but it's still pretty tanky. So it's not a bad ship. It's a good ship to get into. But this is my favorite. We never use them for anything, but I love it so much. I have like 4, and I am so happy when I have them. This is the Zarmazd. It's got the best name. It's so stupid. And it looks right. Like, this is why I said the Rediva just looked too long. Like, look at this thing. That just looks correct. It's supposed to be an alien kind of ship. Weird. When it's repping, when it reps, what happens is this kind of like extends out and the fronts like open up sideways, and then the reps come out of the giant black ball, the black hole in the ship, the singularity. This is the skin I have on mine, but there's a couple other skins that look okay. They don't have a ton, but this is the one I have because this is like the only one I could get. I think the tournament one is really, really good. I don't remember if you can actually see that in the planner or not. It up don't seem so simple. All right, let me close that. I gotta check on there we go. Am I dying? I gotta check on some paints real quick, make sure I'm not dying. Okay, we're Gucci. We're good. Okay, so I love this ship, and the Zarmazd, so beautiful, so lovely. When it starts repping, it's less than a Guardian when it starts repping. And I think it takes like 20 to 40 seconds, somewhere in there, to cycle up. It depends on what your boosts are, because your cycle time is either 6 seconds, or I think it gets down to 4.1 if you got like a lot of boosts on it. It reps as much as a fax, which is a capital lot repping ship on its own with 1 repper. It reps as much as a fax. It is ridiculous. Also, this ship, I believe they rebuffed it, is almost over 100,000 EHP you can get on it. It was like 120, like pretty easily. Then they cut it down to like 60, 70, and then they put it back up. They buffed it back up because it was just too weak for how it's like $1 billion just for one of these damn things. So the capitals apply better to have better reps types. Yeah, just a second. I am running a fleet, so if you hear me talking to random people, that's why. The capitals have their place. These things can die. They are tanky, but they're not a couple million EHP tanky, right? So, and they also can't easily, remember, they can only rep one thing at a time because they only have 1 repper, and it takes 20 to 40 seconds to cycle up or more. I don't remember the exact time, but I know it's around in there. So you're not getting that fax rep till after it is fully spooled up on somebody. So in the meantime, you're getting, at best, another Guardian out of it, which is not much. So that's why the fax, on the other hand, can rep as a fax right away, right? Which is, and we'll look at fax. Sorry, fax means force auxiliary, which is the capital Logi ship. But this is my favorite Logi ship. I think they're beautiful. I love them so much, and it's so much fun to say. If you ever need a Christmas present from me, I will always take more Zarmazd. No, they don't have to take you can rep on somebody even if they're not taking any damage. And that's the benefit of you're kind of preparing for like a gate camp or something. And the rep range is like 72. With boosts, like it's really fucking far. So you can really stay off the gate and rep somebody and then just warp away if like you're going to get caught. So we are going to get into the capitals now. There's 4 capitals. Actually, we won't get to capitals. We got one more Logi ship that not everyone realizes unless you're like in incursions and shit. And it is the Nestor. This is also one of the strongest Logi ships out there. It's fucking dope. So the Nester, this is mine, is actually really, really good at lodging. Now, because it's got bonuses, it's got range bonuses. They're not as good as the other ones, but they can do it. And then they got repair amounts. And they're also really tanky. They're small sig. So the reason why I really like it, these are great for incursions or if you're doing something where you're not having to move a lot. How we would do it in high-sec incursions, and this would just be like the Vanguard sites, is one Nester would just have all its reps repping another Nester, and then that Nester would just rep the fleet. So you could literally have one person handling two of these, and just one is basically AFK. So these things are great. A lot of people don't always think of them as the Logi ships, but they are actually good at it. Just not like, they're not like the cruisers, right? They're not going to be for the whole fleet. They're going to be use cases. So yeah, and they use them for a lot of various things like smart bombing as well. But, you know, I always used it for repping. This is one of my first, like, incursion ships that I did. And I loved mine. I think it's probably still at high sec somewhere. So now we'll get into capitals, because I don't want to forget about the Nester. She deserves some love. Let's get into the capital. So we'll go up to here. We'll start with, this one's one of the more popular ones that you're going to see. And I can actually use that. We're going to switch songs real quick. But here. Wait, I don't want to simulate. I just want to show. Sorry. Let's do this. So this is it looks like a hat. I think it's supposed to look like a religious hat of some kind. It has a big ass docking bay. Anytime you see this glowy stuff, that is actually like the force field to keep air in the ship, and that's a docking bay on any ship. So you'll see it on the capitals and shit too. And then I usually have mine with the skin because it looks really cool. But you got a couple options. You can get some pretty cool ones. But this is Amar, so it's armor. It's really good at armor. It's very cool. This is the one I have 3 of these, I think. And you don't know how many times I actually used it in battle? Like once. I am not a capital Logi pilot, like at all. Yeah, that's what I thought, Karen. I don't do capital Logi. It's actually not my thing, but I know about it. So then we have the counterpart. So that's pure armor, right? That's what that one is. So this one's pure shield, and it's going to be the Minakawa. She's a good boy. She does her job. It's supposed to be a bird. See that? I also have that docking bay thing right there. And very tanky Minakawas are great. There's like absolutely nothing wrong with any of these Logi ships. I mean, they all have their places, so they're not going to fit every, situation. But they're very good at what they're used for. Let me just get my ore set up because I have been mining and not paying attention to that. Yes, and it is really good at shield repping, buffer, which means they don't heal themselves, or active, which means they can heal themselves as well. Yeah, well, I don't know about the vertical supremacy here, but whatever makes you guys happy. And to learn how to use these, I would highly recommend join Beehive and start asking some questions. So the large ships do sometimes have a little bit of an issue repping smaller ships, but it depends. They're actually really good at repping battleships, and I think they can do cruisers relatively well. If you ask them to rep a frigate, it's kind of overkill. I think they'll still do it, but it take a long time to lock. It is a capital, and they have a lock time based upon signature radius. So it's going to take a fax a long time to lock a cruiser comparatively to a battleship. So they're really good for battleships and capital fights. Now there is a rep stacking penalty for capital reps. Only capital reps, not the regular reps. So if you have like 100 faxes repping something, basically like the first 30 or something are full effective and the rest are like half effective. Yeah. That's still a long time for a frigate. So, they used to be a lot stronger when they were all fully effective. You could just have a whole fleet of faxes drop on a Titan and protect it if it got attacked, but no more. Those days are gone. You at some point can just out damage however many reps are there, no matter how many faxes are there. Because at some point, like, some of them are going to be doing, like, nothing. I was going to say, 4 seconds is actually kind of long for a frigate. But they're still good for subcaps, for sure. It's just that they are, kind of meant for battleships and capitals. So then we have, let's go to the bastard child. So this is the red-headed stepchild of this section. If you notice, Galente kind of gets shafted in this department. They're very good at other stuff, but when it comes to Logi, they're not the creme de la creme here. But this is the one that it's kind of there. We're going to look at it. It's the Ninazu. I think it looks like a cocoon. What are we listening to? That's fine. Now and then. It looks like a bug. Like a cocoon. Which is fine. I like bugs. But this is the Ninazu. It has such an ugly ass skin. It is got bonuses both to armor and cap booster. I'm just making sure I didn't have anything else on here. So it is a capital one. And it does shield. I knew it had shield. So it's got capital armor repair and shield booster cycle time. But not necessarily, and it does have some amount for armor and capacitor. So you could put, I think, both shield and armor on an Ninazu. Great, you'll never see Cocoon. Yeah. That's what I'm here for. But Ninazu is a great name. I like saying Ninazu. But, no one uses these. If you do, no one's going to shoot it, I will say, because they know it's really not doing that much. So, if you could try to bring it, but it's really just like, why? Why is and they're still expensive because no one builds them. Now we'll go to home defense queens. All right. So if you like being the cool kid on the block that jumps in and saves everybody, yeah, they also don't have enough for tank. If we're gonna go to the queen bee here, which is the Lif, and some of you in chat were saying it earlier that the Lif is queen or is bay, Lif is life. The Lif is got capital repair and shield booster cycle time, and it's got shield booster amount. Shield is when you're trying to save somebody quickly, you can get that shield on. Remember how it hits at the beginning of the cycle? It's usually kind of more effective in those quick, fast saves. But they still have good armor repping, like it's still perfectly fine. The Lif is also really tanky, and it's got good tank for both. You can tank it for armor or shield, whichever one you kind of want to do. They're also hella expensive because they're not used as much. They're almost never used in a fleet doctrine. They're almost strictly for those random, like, fuck off saves where you don't know what you need to rep, but you gotta rep it. So you just throw a Lif in there and it can rep either one enough to keep somebody alive till something else shows up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're it does require blinging them out to make them amazing. When we did saves in Delve, we would have usually somebody in a Lif, and if someone screamed, "Help me, I'm tackled," we would just say sign up and send the Lif through first, and the Lif would tell us what it was, and then we'd know, do we need to send more shield or armor repping? And so, but it was great because we weren't worried about the Lif dying because it was pretty tanky itself, right? So it could survive what it needed to survive, and then the pilot could tell us what else we needed to send to keep someone safe. Because when people are dying, they're freaking out and they do not answer questions very well. Let's just say that. I am guilty of the same thing. So, so those are the main ships. Those are all the Logi ships. If you want to be useful in a fleet, and you don't want to spend all the time learning all the different gun types, the different battleships and things like that, Logi is great for, because you only have like, you know, the T2 frigates, a couple of them to learn, the T2 cruisers, a couple to learn, and maybe one capital. So you're like 7 or 8 ships maybe at most to learn, and a lot of their skills transfer across each other. So you only need to just learn the specific cruiser skill and the, you know, the specific T2 cruiser skill. So are Logi good scouts as they can heal if ambushed? No. Logi are not good scouts. Logi do not do very well if they're by themselves. Oh, you want to get... are we really going to go into Lokis and shit? Because that's not something I have a lot of experience with here. We could get into it, I guess. So... let me go and pull it up. So, we have... so, how I said, like, scimitars. Basically, every faction, main faction has... and we're going to have an ad in 5 minutes, and we're going to let it run when it comes up, because I don't want to have to keep snoozing it. So when it happens, it happens. If you don't want to deal with an ad, subscribe. I don't care if you do or not. I appreciate everyone following, though. Followings are great. But so every main faction has a T3, which is this really special cruiser, strategic cruiser they call it. And pretty much all of them can turn into some sort of Logi. I believe the... Loki's usually pretty good at shield. And it's, you know, tanky, fast, all that good nonsense. Yeah, you can get a lot of repping power. Yes, I have seen it. I think, so the Lokis are really good. The Proteus are not as highly rated on the Logi compared to the others. They're usually for smart bombs because they're fat bitches. But they're still good. There's no problem with them. And yes, they don't have much range. They don't get all the range bonuses that the T2 cruisers get. And so they're only for if you're going to be all close together moving in a tight ball. Because their range is like 20 to 30, I think, depending upon your boosts. The Tengu is the Caldari one, and that one's actually not bad. It takes Proteus is also very slow, you're right. It takes a lot of fitting to make the Tengu work, but it can work just fine. And then the last one, which is one that I've always debated about getting instead of a Guardian because they're so cool, but I don't want to spend all the money on it because it's really expensive and it makes you stick out like a sore thumb, is the Legion, which is the coolest one. The Legion is really good at armor. It's very tanky and and you can really, really price that ship up, but it is very good. Yes, and the T3s are great for Black Ops Logi, if you want to bring Logi with your Black Ops. Yeah, the Legion's great. And what's nice is you can't always tell like who's the Logi in the Legion fleets, because, you know, they all like kind of look the same. But I like the Legion a lot. I've debated about getting one, because if you're a Logi anchor, which is like, we'll get into that kind of terminology, having something really, really tanky that also reps a lot is good. But I just have never committed to getting one. Because for a long time, it was like, oh, you lose skills if it dies. And I didn't want to, you know, have to relearn skills constantly. So I just never did it. And maybe someday I'll do it. But since we don't use armor right now, I also haven't had a really motivation to have to get it. But if we use armor again, it would be great. Well, never use. Armor's just in a bad place right now, sadly, compared to some of the other factions, so. Oh, I have all the skills. I can use a Legion, I think. On Dawn, not on Asmodean. I just, once again, just haven't really committed to getting one. Someday I will. Okay. We did T3s. I think we've done all the ships now. And if anyone has any other ships that you want to go over, let me know. But I think we've hit all the ships that are mainly used for Logi. You can technically put a rep on anything. Those are just the best ships for it. Yeah, I figured. I know that they're actually, like, it depends on the boost you're getting, will determine if it's really bad or not. So, now when it comes to, like, being a Logi pilot, a lot of it is if you are in small gang, you need to manage yourself. You need to manage your own range. You need to keep yourself safe from baddies. So that's if you want kind of get some skills for really doing range control and 3D awareness of like what's going to attack you. Logi in small gangs and gate camps and stuff is kind of where it's at. Incursion Squad is a great way to learn fleet Logi. And yes, you'll usually be able to get into fleet if you are Logi. They always want Logi because other people are like, I want to use my cool big shit that goes boom boom, and I get it. Shooting shit is fun, but if you want some practice, lodging in an incursion fleet can be a lot of fun too, because most people forget to actually broadcast that they're dying, and so you have to learn how to like save them. So when you're a Logi pilot, you do not want to turn off effects. You need to have, you can turn off most effects, but you need to, hold on. None yet. Okay. So this is what I recommend for if your computer can handle it. I'm not talking about the cenotaph. Anyways, if you are going to be Logi, you need to have turrets and lasers on so that way you can see who's getting shot. You don't need to have all the missile shit on, but you need to have turrets and lasers. You need to have at least something so you can see who's being targeted in a fleet. Let me see if I can pull up my settings here. Where is it at? Display. Yeah, so like see how I've got mine? I have everything else off because I just don't need all this nonsense on. But turrets and launchers and effects, I keep those on personally because when you're in the middle of a fleet fight, you can see who's going to get shot because you can see all the lasers and the target painters just zero in on one person. Okay, we are on break, so good luck. For those of you who did not subscribe, sorry, bye. I'll see you in 3 minutes. I'm actually going to use this as my own break for the subscribers because I'm on ad myself now. Fleet, scream if something shows up to kill us. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm coming. Sorry about the menopause commercials. Oh, my stomach. Hey, it's me. Oh, ad break ends in 3. Perfect. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, so we were talking about effects now that everyone's back. So basically, have effects, some effects on so you can see who's getting shot. What I do when I'm leading a fleet is if my fleet's getting shot, you follow broadcast. Someone can, I'm just going to do it here. I'll show you how broadcast works. So I'll have this window up. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. But it's going to have, this kind of feed that's going. Can some of you guys broadcast for reps? Pick a rep. I don't care what it is. So as I told my fleet to do it. See them, they're asking for stuff. When these come through in the middle of fights, and you can, click and lock them. So I use my locking button. I can lock them up and I can rep them. So that's how most Logi do it, to see who needs help and who doesn't. Okay, we're good. And it keeps rolling. So it does it. And if somebody else asks for reps, that person goes to the top of the list. And you can keep selecting. And so I could sit there and lock everybody off of this if I wanted to, but you have to do one at a time. And you can see how I'm doing it. Mine is color coded. Each type of rep gets its own color. And I have colors for other stuff too. Capacitor is yellow because that's not as important to give to them. So it's not as big a deal for me. And then shield is orange. And the reason why is because I don't like shield stuff as much. So that made that orange. And then obviously armor's red because that's a dire straight and it's way more important. So armor gets red for me. You guys figure out your own color scheme. But that's how I do it. And so you want to know what you need to rep people. So that's why you do different colors. Nobody likes Caldari. I mean, I think they're okay. It's just not as pretty. And I'm all about the look here. If the game doesn't look good, I'm not interested. Or it's very hard for me to get interested in an ugly game. So you do want to try to color code your watch list. And I know that ships that also attack, combat ships also will color code for their own reasons, whatever it is. If I were to, let me see if I can do this here. So if I do, I have Align and Warp also color coded for things that I need. Thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. You don't necessarily have to do it because I'm not going to get it. So, I always welcome it, but, you don't have to give me bits because I don't get anything for it. So I'm doing this because I like attention. Let's be real here. But then I have Warp 2 and Jump 2. All of them have different colors. The way to set colors, if you've never done it before, you have your broadcast window open. You use that by clicking on Fleet. So you click Fleet, go to Broadcasts, and then you go to the three dots, and you go down to Broadcast Settings. Should seem pretty obvious. And you open it up, and you get this cool little window right here. Do this here. And you see all the different types of things there are, and then you can set a color if you want to. There's a lot of broadcasts that I may not need anything for, so I just don't have any colors. And then you can toggle what you want to see. So if I'm in an armor fleet, I will typically toggle off the shield because I can't rep shield. I personally leave them all on because some people panic, just click anything to try and get reps. So I'll leave everything on personally, but some people can't handle that. You turn it off. Now, what's nice is if I'm going to be in a combat ship instead of a Logi ship, I can literally just turn these off and turn on target and I can see targets. Or if I need to see who's getting shot, I can do that. So that's how I set mine up. You can do a very similar thing for the watch list as well. So let's say you want to keep track of the FC's HP, maybe some VIPs in your fleet like boosters or your Logi friends or your Logi brothers, or want to be able to target lock certain people really quickly and not have to wait for that broadcast. You're going to do what's called a watch list. So let's see. So you basically right click a pilot either in fleet. So I will do, Dragon down here. You go to fleet and then you go to add to watch list. And this menu is going to come up and you can move it wherever you need to put it. Let's go ahead and adjust that. Okay. So You can make a watch list. You can have a lot. It used to be like 15. I think they removed some of the limits that you could have on there. So, and then you can also color code your watch list. So you can, I always make my FCs red because they're important. So I need to keep an eye on them, right? So they're always at the top of my list and they are red. And then the backup FC is orange because like they're kind of important, but who gives a shit, right? And then yellow is for the Logi anchor. And that's because most of the time I'm the Logi anchor if I'm on a fleet. So I don't really need to see yellow. But if I'm not the anchor, which is like the person that you're like following, then they'll be yellow. My cap chain buddies, the ones we talked about earlier, who are like for the cap transfers, the one above you and below you in your name order. So like in this fleet, it would be like Arcanor and Aurelium would be my cap chain buddies. I would right click fleet, add to watch list, and I put them in order of how they need to be, who's above me and who's below me, and I make them green. Now this keeps them green forever unless I see them in another fleet and I change it. Yeah. So like let's say Dragon was the FC. Let's make Dawn the LA. We're going to add her to watch list. See, she's already LA, right? So she'll sit there. This is how my thing's going to look, right? Yeah. Now for when I'm in a fleet that's going to definitely have some deaths, the meat grinders, you want to have your next best friends on the list as well. Now, because I'm at the top of the list, it actually loops around. So it goes to A to Z. So Zealot would be the next one for me. And then Bistot would be the next one below, right? So these ones, I do light blue. Because it's a very stark, easy color to tell the difference between blue and green. And it's not like one of these like emergency colors. So if Arcanor were to die, I would immediately lock up Zealot and start chaining with them. And vice versa with Aurelium. If it's a real meat grinder fleet, I will actually go even further to the third. And I would add like them to watch list. And then add them to watch list. And then they become blue, dark blue. Once again, just start colors so I can really know who it is. And it looks beautiful in order. I also love like rainbows. So, it just works out that it starts making a rainbow. So, and then if let's say you have some snowflakes who are like someone says, hey, this ship really needs to not die. You need to rep this specific person. Or the boosters in the fleet. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. So, they always say, oh, go grab the boosters, which are the people doing the shield boost and the armor boost, and add them to your watch list. They're going to fucking die. Like, I can't save them. Whatever. So, I don't, ever add them to my watch list. My watch list is already pretty full as it is. Nobody else makes it on there. But you, as a regular person, a normal line person, should do that. I don't do that. Because if they want to live, they should broadcast. By the time I see them dying, it's probably too late. I might add one or two, but I usually don't. So this is usually what my watch list will look like, basically. But now if Kumi's on the fleet in his bar guest, Kumi will get added, and he will look like this. He will get white. So if you are a special snowflake, you are white on my list, as the clouds for my rainbow. So that's how now if you want to, you can clear all that watch list and it's empty now. And you can add them and change them like that. Use white for yourself. So, but yeah, that's how I set it up. You figure out what works for you. It's good to have all my multiple you want. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, as I said, I'm Logi anchor, so my experience is mostly trying to keep the Logi group, the cloud of healers, in the right position compared to the fleet. Sometimes that just involves just keeping range from the FC, and sometimes that involves actually moving around. You always want to try to keep the group ball of Logi close to the fleet, but on the opposite side from the enemy fleet. So, I don't know if I don't have a thing. But let's say my ship here is the fleet, the main fleet. The and the ball over here is the enemy fleet, I would put my Logi on this side over here because it's still close to my fleet to rep them, but it's further from them, which means it's harder for them to shoot. It's possibly out of the optimal range or fall off range for the shooters. And so they're going to be more encouraged to either get closer to try and shoot them. And so it's easier for our ships to shoot them, or they're just going to shoot the PvP, the combat ships. And so the Logis can stay alive, trying to keep people alive. Yeah, it's pretty much like simple and easy. The hard part is execution because FCs are squirrely and they just like to wiggle around whatever fucking way they want. So it's sometimes difficult to keep up. And if the FC is going really, really fast, so like let's say you're a newer Logi pilot or you're with an FC, Asher, who is really squirrely and kind of hard to keep up with because you can't predict what they're going to do, it's okay to just stay close to the FC. I would rather you stay close to the fleet and rep them than try to do some weird 3D angling and try to stay outside and away from the other fleet. And then all of a sudden you're 80 kilometers from your fleet because the FC went right while you were still going straight in tie-dye, and it's very hard to switch things. So if all else fails and you're struggling to keep up with the FC, just anchor on the FC at that point. Because you're going to be more effective even if you're in range of being shot than being far off and not being able to rep anybody at all. Yeah, every fleet comp is different, but that's honestly what I do when we're in a fleet fight and I cannot, like the tie-dye's really bad and the ships are really unresponsive, or or we're just surrounded by everybody. There's no good spot to be. So you might as well just be with the FC at that point. And then you can just be in optimal range of everybody. Another day I leave. All right. Let's do. All right. I killed my rock. Hold on, I'm getting a new rock. All right. Anyways, so, don't get so, if you are Logi anchoring or new Logi anchor, don't get so stressed out about trying to be exactly, but keeping the fleet between you and the enemy fleet. Just do your best. I get some reps in. At some point, usually the FC will stop fucking moving, and then you can start moving the ball to where you want it. I usually like to kind of help keep the ball on the other side easily. I'll usually keep it range-ish from the FC about 20, and that'll kind of automatically settle you in a good spot, and then you can manually adjust from there. So if you needed something to kind of help get yourself in a position while maybe you're dealing with tie-dye, keeping it range 20K as the anchor will keep everybody, in a reasonable spot. You'll be not right inside the ball, but you'll be close. So that's another little tip or trick I would recommend. So once again, have effects on so you can see who's getting shot. I wish I had a PvP fleet here right now. But let's say, so now the way to distinguish yourself from good Logi and great Logi is the ability to watch the field and proactively be able to take care of people as soon as they're starting to get shot, and helping out other fleets that are blue and repping their people when your fleet's maybe not getting shot. Because it's going to happen. Basically, one fleet is the bitch that is taking it and is in the center of the gangbang. Somebody's the bitch. So if your fleet is not that and your people aren't getting shot and you want to still be doing something, zoom in on the fleet, just right click and just look at somebody that's in that fleet getting shot and start panning around and looking at those ships to see who's getting targeted. Because all of a sudden you're going to watch a bunch of lasers and stuff start going down towards one ship. Lock them up and start repping them. If you are the LA, you need to broadcast for rep, which is a thing we have now. Be careful. It's right next to broadcast target. But let's say I see this Kairos over here getting shot. I would right click broadcast repair target. It's going to come up, and that is going to tell all of the Logi that person needs repping. You can do it to somebody that's not in your fleet. And so then if you and your 30 Logi are dancing around over there doing nothing and you see another ship getting shot, you can tell your whole fleet, rep this person. That's how we've won multiple fights, because they couldn't break random people. And, you know, they would alpha through maybe 3 ships, and then all of a sudden one of the ships that they're trying to kill, they couldn't get through because there's 2 fleets worth of Logi repping it. And it just, you know, optimal ranges and cycle times just worked out. And what it does is it wastes the enemy fleet's shots and can get you guys on the up tempo of being maybe a couple missile launchers ahead. And that little bit of delay that you've caused that fleet can start compounding and compounding and compounding and really impact the fight. So Logi being able to be kind of, you know, their own thinkers and really take the initiative to help out everybody is huge in a fight. I mean, I've seen the effect. I've been in a fleet where our fleet was the one being the bitch. But you know, we had 3 fleets there, and eventually they stopped shooting us and started shooting other people, but we were able to help keep them alive. And we just, you know, like, it is so much fun too. It is so fun to watch all these lasers coming down to shoot this, you know, Ferox Navy. And all of a sudden you just see its hell go, woo, 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 woo. And it just won't die. And eventually you see that they just stop trying to shoot and switch to something else. And then you see them go back to them, and you just keep doing it. And it's so fun. I don't know why. I mean, I understand why PvP is fun, but it's even more fun when you just like are, no, you can't kill them. And most Logi wings end up getting a fleet pet. There's usually that one guy that we've repped and saved in armor or structure, and it's like that much health left. And you rep him back up, and then they try to kill him again, and you just like, you know, you spend everything you've got. Yes, window wiper shield reps, for sure. You just work really hard to keep that person alive, the entire fleet. Yeah, no, it's the best feeling for me. I know that not everybody gets that, but it is so satisfying. And honestly, if you've never done Logi before and you have questions, what's great is most Logi pilots are very happy to answer any questions. There is a great, if you're in the Imperium, there's a great Logi 101 and Logi Anchor 101, both of them. And they go over a lot of the stuff that I went over today. And they will have a lot of diagrams and great spreadsheets and slideshow PowerPoints that go over a lot of the stuff and make it really easy for you to you know, see exactly what I'm talking about, but the ranges and everything. Yeah. Oh, and also the other fun thing is, as a Logi pilot, so some FCs will be like, bring a damage drone, which is not a... Okay. Just let me know what it is if we can see it. We might get some action. We'll find out today. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. It's a Manticore. Okay. So I might have to pay attention a little bit. So we might have to pause the Logi stuff here in a second. We'll see if he comes in yet or not. Let me do this here. Thank you for telling me. He might come in here. He might not. It might not be anything. It might be a something. Let's do this here. I've been watching stuff like crazy today. So, the other fun thing to do in fleet fight. So I'll try to go over it since the guys have just jumped in yet. So I'll try to go over it. So basically in Logi, you have a very small drone bay. It's very teeny tiny. You can only have like 1 sentry or a couple, maybe up to maybe 5 to 10 light drones. So what we typically do is you may have a couple of damage drones, or you have the opposite of what you normally rep drones, sort of. So like if you're in a shield fleet, you want to carry some armor drones because inevitably someone's going to bleed shield into armor, and so they'll lose some armor. And a fleet of little armor drones can actually rep up quite amount of armor pretty quickly. Not when the thing's getting shot, but like when they stop shooting it and go into somebody else, you send your drones over to heal them. So if they get shot again, they're not, you know, going to keep bleeding armor. If you're on an armor fleet, you want to carry structure drones because they're going to bleed into structure, and no one carries structure reps. So you want to have, those are also fun to have because it's really funny to watch their structure just And like one set is gonna like barely help, but like when you see like 40 drones from the Logi wing just flow over there and just ball around somebody real quick, it's very fun to watch. Um, some people will bring PvP drones. I have, and it's not just to whore on things, but sometimes Pandemic Horde especially is notorious for this. They love to use ECM drones on Logi, so they will send a full flights of Logi of jamming drones to the Logi wing, and while they may not be overly effective, they will get a jam off every now and then. Yeah, fax drones are super cool. Yeah. Anyways, the fax drones are a completely different thing. They get huge bonuses. They use the big ones. They're really cool. But for the normal cruiser Logi, you can use the PvP drones. But and the reason why it's not necessarily a bad idea to have a couple Logi have PvP drones, not just a whore on kills or attack small frigates or shoot a building, is when they use those EC300 drones, you can sit there as maybe that one Logi that has some PvP drones and just start targeting the ECM drones and just start killing them. They pop so quickly. They're very weak and tiny. Yeah, delousing. You don't need the whole fleet to do it, the whole wing to do it, but having maybe 4 or 5 that have some fighting drones in it, they can spend time doing that while repping people and help, clear out the red. All right, let's do. All right, so we got a baddie in system. I don't know if he's gonna come over, but he might. All right, hang on. Uno momento. I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. Hi, team. So there's a Manicore in my system from P-Horde, and I guess there's 85 somewhere. Am I gonna get a friend here in a second? They just linked GTechQ. Yeah, they can literally go across the regional gate. I'm in ZO Tech 4AR, so. I'm just bringing it up now. I'm just bringing it up now just in case, All right. I don't have that many people on fleet today. Only about 36, because there was a big mining fleet for a while, and they were tired. It says Min O. I don't know if he's a prolific dropper or not, but he's still in here, so. Yeah, Fleet, you get to watch this from half the side because you don't get to hear Beehive and stuff, so. And if some Hordling is going to try to come jump me, I guess you can. So you step down. All right, let me go to my fleet real quick. Go ahead and try to siege down because there's 85 in GTechQ. Booster fine, don't worry about it. So there's like 85 in Horde space. And obviously we have a Horde person here and a Manicore that could light a Sino. I have told Beehive, but go ahead and start sieging down so we can try to get off before they get it here. Yeah. Yeah, and I've told them, so. I'm going to go back up to Beehive so I can relay and watch the mayhem. All right, I'll be back. I only worry just because there's a bunch next door. Refusing. Logging in my... Why is there a blue saber on me? There's a blue flycatcher on me. He's not bubbled, but he's sitting on top of me. I linked it in local for myself. My local key sometimes keys me, like makes you hear like a half a second. It's just me talking. You feel so empty. Used to. The it bubbled? No, it didn't bubble me. It just bubbled towards a gate, I think. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know. Well, I'm uh member of miners in. He said in local, I cough bros. I don't know what that means. But I'm on the Athenor now, but I have two other workers here with me who are gonna get off hopefully soon. Now you're an idiot. I don't think he's doing it. He didn't bubble a Rorqual. I think he just bubbled towards the gate, is what it seems like. I don't know, maybe. And if you're on my fleet, as I said, make sure you just go ahead and get off. Oh, okay. Sev, you're watching me on Twitch. You talk, offer, stop bubble on Twitch. Oh, you offer to stop bubble on Twitch? I didn't see that part. Sorry, I was a little distracted. Okay. Yeah, it's just someone watching my stream. He was putting up a stop bubble. He's fine. All right. I'm gonna go make sure the rest of my fleet gets off, and then we'll go back out as soon as this motherfucker leaves. I mean, I don't mind continuing. Oh, okay. Then we can do that. All right, we can go back out mining. Oh, never mind. Don't go in. Yeah. Fox is here. Okay. Gotta know. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the chat that's going on in local. Okay, now he's on grid. Okay. You're okay with me going back? Okay. All right, we can go back out. Yeah, it'll be fine. Why don't I be the only Rorqual that goes back out? And then the other ones can just sit here and wait. Knockabout. All right. Oh, could they? Sorry, distracted. It'll be fine, guys. It'll be fine. Oh, look, a little osprey showed up. That's a Logi ship right there. I just need to get in range of my depot. I like to, so I can pick it up. Sorry, we got some weeb shit today. Oh, I gotta slow down. Okay. This is the trick to slow down, is just align the opposite direction. And then just stop, and then you'll slow down. We have 10 o'clock. I don't know how much longer I would have mind, but there's a lot of moon left, so. Alright, I'm sieged up. You guys can come back out. I would say if you're not comfortable, you don't have to, but I'm going to. Alright. Alright. Yeah. He's just gonna sit there. Oh, just the Sanathema is just having a fun time. I mean, he can bookmark the rock next to me. Okay. Well. Oh, Tom, you're trusting me so much. Where's the Valkyries? There we go. He wants to play that. He can do that. Like a mother given. Get on here. Just remember, if you need reps, just let me just broadcast. Why the mobile depot? Sorry, we are all very distracted. Why the mobile depot? So that way I can refit stuff if I need to in the fly, and I can hide my excavators in it. So if I really need to, I can just hide my most expensive stuff inside it and keep it safe. Sorry, I'm just like zoned in. Like, this guy keeps messing with our chefs. What a jackass. Simmer down. I said, if you guys stay near me, I'll keep you safe. But once again, do whatever you can keep track of. Just only risk what you're willing to risk. Even on my alt and keep my. Yeah, I've got all my alts out here. I just do the work while I'm not. I mean, if my Rorqual dies, it dies. I have 3 more somewhere in there. I don't want to lose it though. Obviously, I try to be safe, but I'm not gonna let this guy stop me from getting my fucking rocks. Or did you bounce? Okay. Vercintrix. Okay, we're gonna do. Move Dawn up there. Are you coming back, or do I need to regroup you? Because you're still floating away. That's fine. Yeah, I have so many. Just because. Cautious. I'll be right. You see what he's doing, right? Okay. Just making sure. No. I don't have range. I can't shoot him from that far away. Yeah, unfortunately, blame Sniper Eagle. I don't have those. So yeah. Yeah, Coffee. He definitely made some bookmarks, but that's okay. Every impulse. Oh, I can kill this now. He's like, no, no, not the drones. Found nothing. These friends. And I was only planning on streaming a little bit longer because I just try to get, well, okay, it's about 15 more minutes because I try to get the, oh yeah, do that. He's watching though, so I don't think he's going to come back there. Coffee, but you know, you can certainly try. What? They're already watching. They've been watching for the last like 20 minutes. I'm not particularly worried about it. They can't hear you. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what that was supposed to do. What was that supposed to do? What was that supposed to do? I don't know. My drone took shield damage, guys. I don't know what that was. Yes, he did just bomb me. I guess it's a precursor. Like, this is what I'm going to do to you. Throws the bomb. All right. True, yeah. I'm sure someone's gonna get mad at my music. Let's do this one. Tired of Nikki. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. He's like, I'm not Russian. Listen, I'm sorry. That's just how the accent comes out when I'm, hurting somebody. Bye, Fox. You should leave. That'd be fine. Sorry. All the commercials. Yeah, I was like, one bomb. If it was like 3 bombs, I would be concerned. But 1 bomb, it didn't even hit the barges. I don't know what he threw it at. It was like 44 kilometers from me. Yeah. I was just like, I have no idea what the fuck. Okay, whatever. Whatever makes you happy. I'm not here. I'm not your mom. So do what you want to do. G-Tech Q is getting all thick. So cold. Yeah, we're just gonna go for 15 more minutes and then I'll turn everything off. Or 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes, and then we'll shut the thing down, and we'll go from there. Oh, I didn't say we were leaving per se. I'm just saying there won't be a stream anymore. So, so sorry, we got a little distracted. Someone, is trying to mess with my work wall, which is fine. Always active. Action is fun. We did a lot about Logi today. We didn't hit quite everything, but I think I hit most of the good stuff, like tips and tricks, the things about the ships, what to what to focus on. Oh, it was a warning bomb. You think it was like a warning shot that you throw in the sky to be like, hey, clear out. Well, they can't have this moon. This is my moon. I was here first. So, I think we had a good stream. Honestly, I was surprised that I had that much material to go through. About an hour and a half at least before I got interrupted with stuff. And, if there's a topic that you would like me to talk about, mining and Logi are my two like main topics that I know the most about. But there's certain thing that you would like me to go over with my limited knowledge. I'm more than happy to try. Maybe we'll try some gas mining next time. Like I can take a prospect out and we can go look for gas stuffs. And we'll just, go from there, see how it goes. Are you going to get him, Tom? So, yeah. So, maybe we'll do, as I said, maybe Poshfan or Prospect or gas mining next week. I don't really like gas mining, but at least we could go try it out, see how it goes. But, we'll go from there. I appreciate everybody coming to hang out with me. We got about 8 minutes, and then I'm going to be done for the evening. If I get dropped in that 8 minutes, then you guys can watch some action longer, because I won't think about fucking turning the stream off right away until I'm safe. So that's the timer for the baddies. What is it? Oh. Are you sure? Is he in a pod? Oh. Well, chat, you didn't see this, but apparently our Manticore friend that threw a bomb at us is dead. So, or at least he's in a pod now. So we have one less problem to deal with. We just have the anathema, which isn't actually a scary ship in that it can attack me. It's just that it can bring its friends, and its friends are like right next door. So yeah, the Manticore is dead. I don't know how he caught him. I guess he must have scanned her down or something. But that's cool. I'm okay with that. He's probably just gonna sit in local now, looking scary, even though he's not. Do we have his fit? Oh, we do have his fit. He had some twerps. He didn't even have a Sino on him, so the Manticore wasn't of any actual danger. Glad I wasn't scared. You never know, though, with a Black Ops ship. Any Black Ops ship. I'm just like, oh, that can take a Black Ops bridge? Leaving! No. It was definitely the flycatcher got him. And he's trying to say he did it on purpose, which is always possible. He's old. We have an anathema playing with us. Yeah, there's a kill mill. I know. Yeah, there's a kill mill in local. If someone wants to try and link it, you can send it to me and I'll link it on chat, or on stream, because you guys can't link it. We don't allow links on INN just to keep people from doing naughty things. There we go. I didn't mean to play this one, but I like this song a lot, the Karma Fleet one. I gave it to him. Thank you. My reigns. You guys are allowed to come out here if you want. I'll keep you safe. I didn't say that I won't necessarily die, but shit happens, yo. Glory. Glory. I like the song a lot, but it's a bit sad though. So, I will advertise it. We are doing Eve Nashville. Well, not Eve Nashville, but Rampage Nashville. It's going to be a goon meet in Nashville in September 12th to the 14th. If you are an Eve nerd or like Eve nerds, I recommend coming and hanging out. There's in the Rampage Discord a whole post on it. And I think on the Goon Fleet forums as well. You don't have to be a goon to come, but I know most goons are, most of them are going to be goons. and it's a good time. I'm going to be there. I already have my hotel, and I'm going to drive down. If you're in the Indy area and you want to drive together, we can certainly see if that's a possibility. And then as long as you're not a weirdo. And then there is also another Eve meet in October in like Iowa. I will try to see if I can link it. Hold on. 12 million sold. It's called the Eve Midwest Meetup. So that one is run by, I think, Dominark, and he asked me to promote it, so I'm going to promote it. And he's a good dude. They have a good time, and that's her if you don't want to spend all the money going out to Vegas. Yeah, quiet, absolutely. If you live in Nashville, come and hang out with us that weekend. We're going to be downtown getting lit up. It's nothing like watching a bunch of late 30s and 40-year-olds getting drunk as shit. I will be inebriated because I will be not at the DD. Boy, is it big enough? And this ad is going to not go off right. We're going to finish up right before this ad happens. So that'll sound like a good time to stop. We got about less than 3 minutes. One shot later. No, it takes, I think I get like relaxed after one shot, like a little warm. 2 shots, I'm feeling good. 3 shots is when I start, going. That's when I'm like, woo! And if you go beyond, I try not to go beyond 3, just because like I'm not like a salty, but I'm definitely the more like, oh, hi, how's it going? Like putting your hand on people, laughing, just finding the dumbest things for it hilarious. And not everyone drinks. I know Merc only drinks beer when he's there, and some people that are coming don't drink at all. Yeah, I try not to get hammered, but sometimes it sneaks up on me, and then 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. My alcohol of choice is bourbon though, so that shit is good. Vodka gives me hangovers, so I don't do vodka anymore. I will do rum as well. I don't really like tequila or scotch much, but you end up naked. Yeah, that's not surprised. I don't end up naked or anything, thank goodness, but I am definitely like much more forward. I start messaging people that I'm like, I shouldn't talk to them, I shouldn't bother them, and as soon as I'm drunk, I'm like, what's up? How's it going? You wanna, show me blah blah blah. Like I will message people. No problem. And to the horror of some of my friends. So, all right. Well, we got about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to call it there because I got to get to 2 hours. That's why I'm cutting off at 2 hours. Oh, Bunky, you're 14. Well, drinking is bad for you and will only lead to bad decisions. But, so don't drink until you're 21. I didn't drink till I was 21. I actually did wait all the way till 21 at least. So I have no guilt about drinking on that part, other than when I drink too much. So, but, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close up the show here. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I think we did a great Logi talk. You got to watch some mining, got to watch a little drama with some of these people in local. And if I will hopefully try to do something next week, we'll see. Maybe we'll do a different game, but I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with me. And I am going to go ahead and end it there. Have a good night, guys.